Adams here with aBlogtoWatch. Please subscribe to our videos on YouTube and like this video if you find it useful. This is a review of the Glashutte Original Senator Observer. This is a new watch that came out for 2015. It's essentially based on some existing Glashutte Original stuff in terms of the case and the movement, but it is an updated dial and it's very good looking, and I happen to like this watch a lot. I actually put the Senator Observer on our list of top 10 watches of Baselworld 2015. Well, saying I put it would be a little bit of a misnomer, because as a team we do decide. It is a democratic process for the items that make the top 10 lists. Anyhow, I really like this one a lot, but when I saw it at Baselworld, I only had it on the black calf leather strap, and so in reviewing it I said, you know what, I really want that great bracelet which is available. Glashutte Original is not always given credit for their bracelets, but they do a nice job. And the first thing you'll notice about this bracelet is there's absolutely really no gaps. It's one solid, sort of piece there. You don't see any holes, but it does move over the finger, really quite nicely. And it's a very comfortable watch to wear. Another interesting thing about the bracelet is you see how there's rivets here. There's no screw holes. Turn the thing around. No screw holes. So how do you adjust this bracelet? Well, it took me a while to figure that out. If you look on the inside here, there are little screws, but they don't actually screw out. And so what you have to do is you actually have to take a little screwdriver, push these in, turn it, and it releases this bar, which can then be pushed out in order for you to size the bracelet, which is, I don't know that that's a simplification over the screwed approach, but it might be. This is a German watch. Here is a system that Glashutte Original has had for a while. You push this in right here, and you have a micro adjust, which works really nicely. So you can see this part slides in and slides out several millimeters. And that's really great, so you can get a nice, comfortable fit. Brands like Rolex and Omega have models that have these micro adjusts, so does Seiko, for example. But the European ones are the best, and it's always a feature that I recommend. And when there is a bracelet available, I definitely recommend investing in the bracelet and a watch at any time, because I think it really makes this watch look a lot more sporty. Case size is 44 millimeters wide. It's in steel. It's a matte black dial, and there's a lot of luminant. The whole design of the Senator Observer is based on deck clocks that used to be on ships. And as I wrote in the written review, seeing a watch like this is one of the few times I literally feel like there's a clock on my wrist. It really looks that much like a clock. It feels expansive. The relatively thin dimensions of the bezel really allow the dial to stand out. The hands are the right size. There's just a lot of legibility here, and I like it a lot. Inside the watch, the movement, I believe, is the Glashutte Original caliber 100-14, and it's a nicely made movement. So you can see through the back there. It's an automatic. It has, I believe, about 55 hours of power reserve. There's gold there in the automatic rotor. It's definitely a machine finished watch, but it's about as nice as machine finished as you could expect, for this price point. Seiko probably does, for Grand Seiko, they're probably the king of machine finished watches, but this one isn't bad at all. It's quite nice. Anyways, like I said, the movement has about 55 hours of power reserve, operates at 4 Hertz. There's a power reserve indicator on the dial, which I love. There's a big date indicator, which, what do they call it? Panorama date. There's a subsidiary seconds dial, and of course the hours and minutes, and there's a lot of lume on the dial. I find this to be a very attractive dial. It's simple, it's conservative. Some people might find it boring, that's okay. It's not super exciting, but it's definitely refined, and I love just the hint of decorative value in there. So again, in the sort of scope of like very puristic German design, I like that. Right here you can see there's a small pusher to adjust the date, but you can also adjust the date just by moving past midnight. So there's 2 ways of adjusting the date there. I like that. I believe, actually, I don't remember if you can adjust the date with a crown. I have the time set. I don't want to do it now, but I'm not sure. Well, let's find out. Okay, not that way. No, okay, so if you want to adjust the date, you either got to go to midnight, or you have to, of course, go and use that little pusher. Sometimes brands will allow you to do it both ways. I'm not familiar with all the movements, but again, this is for adjusting the date. So let's put this back on the wrist. It's really comfortable, even though it is, I guess, for some people larger at 44 millimeters wide. You can see that this is very comfortable, and this is about as big a watch as I would want to put on my wrist in terms of the lug to lug length. It's not the width so much, it's the lug to lug length, because any more than that, it would be kind of off my wrist. Even though it is 44 millimeters wide, it's like, I think it's about 13 millimeters thick, but it feels thinner because the sort of thickness to width ratio means it's sort of, wider than it is thick. So, it would look, it looks like it's on the flatter side. Even though it isn't a flat watch, it definitely has a more flat feeling to it. On the bracelet, like I said, I think this watch has a little bit more of a sporty look, which I like. But again, if the bracelet isn't your thing, you're definitely welcome to try this on the black leather strap, which is nice. A little bit more conservative and simple, but definitely still something which is nice. So again, this is the Glashutte Original Senator Observer. Existing movement, but updated dial. That's a little bit sportier, very nautically themed for 2015. Nice watch, a little on the pricey side. On the strap, it's $11,800. On the bracelet, it's $13,300. But you got a great German design aesthetic, really high quality, good movement, good workhorse movement. So I like Glashutte Original a lot. A lot of watch lovers do as well. Overall, nice piece, and you can see the full review on aBlogtoWatch soon. Thanks.